In just-in-time processing setup, one machine makes a part needed by the other machine. That's what we said. Do not make what is not needed. Okay. And the other machine is connected because they are your customers. Okay. So just-in-time means the first machine gives only the number of parts that the second machine can handle. If the second machine can handle one part every minute, the first machine should also be one part in minute. That is what is just-in-time. Okay. This concept is similar to what we have learned about reducing waste in inventory and overproduction. Now, most of the people ask this question. Suppose, what if people are idle? Just-in-time says, let them be idle. Man waiting is okay, but the machine waiting is okay. This is the just-in-time thinking. Man, machine, material. One of the three can wait or all the three can wait, right? But the worst wait is material, because material is the one that is where the value is being added and goes to the customer, and that cannot be wait. If material is moving, man waiting is okay, machine waiting is okay. Okay. If this is a new concept, you type wow in the chat box, WOW, or if it is a bulb on moment, type BON in the chat box, because this is very important. Some people say, hey, people are idle, I paid them, they should be continuously working. No, they will produce a lot of inventory and the material will not move. Material waiting is the deadliest of all waste. Please understand, in just-in-time, machine waiting, hey, I invested 1 crore in the machine, I cannot keep it idle. No, if it produces material and the material is waiting, then that's much more of a waste than man waiting and machine waiting. Okay. Now look at this guy. He makes a lot of parts and pushes it. Why he makes so many parts? He's not following just-in-time. He is following just in case. All of you type JIC in the chat box. Just in case the machine fails, let me produce some extra buffer and keep it. Just in case the supplier does not produce extra and keep it. Just in case there is a quality problem, produce some extra and keep it. Just in case the person doesn't come for work, let me produce extra and keep it. Just in case this happens, just in case that happens, we produce. Inventory hides all the waste. Inventory will hide all the waste. How many of you agree? Because they produce a lot of inventory and supplier is happy. He's not complaining because he's getting material. But your finance is behind your back. The finance is behind your back and said, suddenly, why is the cost have gone up? All the, the cash is held up in capitals, right? Working capital. How many of you can relate to what I'm saying? Type ICR in the chat box if you can relate to it. In fact, somebody was typing here, it is not applicable to the IT industry, stuff like that. My request was, don't make such immediate comments. Just ask and discuss, okay? Because we have all come for 30 years with a lot of learning, okay? So don't say it is not applicable in IT industry. No. The very fact that from waterfall to Scrum, it has evolved, where we have backlog as an inventory, but we don't use all that inventory. We use some story points, make it as a Scrum, and then deliver this thing. In fact, whatever is a usable piece of usable software that we deliver in 15 days, it's called as sprint, right? So the thinking evolved from this just-in-time and lean thinking and concepts. Okay. How many of you are with me so far? Type WU in the chat box. Great. Superb. Okay. Now here, this is a pull system. Make what's needed when it is needed. Now what happens? Why we go into this push system and produce a lot? Because we have not put some fundamentals in place. There are some prerequisite for the just-in-time to be successful. There are some prerequisite. Okay. Without having a proper road, you cannot have a smooth driving. Okay. How many of you agree? Without have a proper road, you cannot drive smoothly. If somebody has to drive smoothly and without any accident, the roads must be smooth enough, the roads must be wide enough, there are some rules to be followed. Only then the traffic, you can drive smoothly and safely. And if you have a road of potholes, narrow roads, and the bigger vehicles come, smaller vehicles coming, and no rules being followed, do you think you can have a smooth journey? Never. Just in time is also like that. Not in Bangalore saying Abhishek. Just in time is also like that. If you have to have a smooth journey, there are some 8 prerequisites. All of you type 8 in the chat box. There are some 8 prerequisites. I'm going to reveal to you those 8 prerequisites, which are not widely written in books, but I'm going to share it with you. Awesome. Okay. Now, why do we produce? Because production, we don't know. It's an ends up in approximation. Anticipated usages, larger lots, higher inventories, waste management by firefighting, poor communication, everything land up. Inefficiencies manifest as inventories. How many of you agree with me? Inefficiencies, all these inefficiencies manifest as inventories. Just to hide the inefficiency of a supplier, just to hide the inefficiency of a machine, just to hide the inefficiency of an operator, just to hide the inefficiency of the planning, just to hide the inefficiencies of management, just to hide the inefficiencies of forecasting, just to hide the inefficiencies of X, Y, Z, W. Okay, great. Am I very aggressive today? No, I'm very excited. I'm very passionate. So, inefficiencies manifest as inventories. So if you know the production position, actual consumption, okay, and small lots, low inventories, waste reduction, so many things if you do, you can follow the pull system. Okay, this is push and this we call it as a pull type of systems. Okay, now here are those 8 prerequisites. Okay, so I want you to take good notes in this because these 8 prerequisites are not written in many books. Okay, and please write good notes. Okay, write notes. First thing is design. The process must be well defined. Please type process in the chat box. The first one, you have to design a good process. There should be a well defined process. Okay, the second one, quality should be managed well. There should be an excellent TQM, manage quality. Okay, so type quality in the chat box or TQM in the chat box, total quality management. If quality is an issue, first attack quality before coming to just in time. Okay, third one, please type Kanban in the chat box. Kanban means your pull system, your signages, because there should be some sort of signal which should say when you should produce, when you should stop, how much should you produce, and how you should produce, and how much you should produce, and where it must be delivered, when it must be delivered, what should be delivered, how much should be delivered, and how it should be delivered. Everything is there in Kanban card. Okay. Kanban, I'll have a separate discussion on Kanban. Okay. Third one, vendor relationship. All of you type VR in the chat box. Everything in-house is okay. But if you don't take care of the partners, the stakeholders, the vendors, you are in soup. Whatever soup. You can only enjoy being in soup. Okay. Then, inventory. Even for just in time, initially you should start with some sort of a buffer inventory. Okay. I'll talk to you about a buffer inventory later. Okay. It comes in the theory of constraint concept of drum buffer rope effect. Okay. And skills and capabilities should be built. How many of you agree? All of you type SC in the chat box. Skills and capabilities should be built. Without skills, untrained manpower, and people with bad attitude, they can disturb things. Okay. Refine the product and process. All of you type PP in the chat box because we call it as key product input variables, key product output variables, key process input variables, key process output variables, all must be refined very well. Okay. And then the metric should be very clear. Key performance indicators and matrices like that. KPI, all of you type KPI in the chat. They should be reviewed. So a quick recap, design the process, manage total quality control, pull system, Kanban, establish vendor relationship, fine tune inventory, build skills and capabilities, refine product processes, review. So if you found this interesting, useful, awesome, fantastic, Just put it in the chat box. Amazing today? Okay, great. So how many of you are there for a 4-minute video of the plant tour, which is into just-in-time manufacturing? Type ready in the chat box. Let us see that beautiful 4-minute video of the plant tour. I'll take you through a Japanese plant. Ready? Good. Thank you very much.
Let's take a look at how just-in-time is being used at the plant. Parts for assembly are being delivered in quantities needed and when it's needed. Electric carts carry the parts unloaded from the delivery trucks to the racks alongside the assembly lines. On the assembly line, when the first part is being used, the worker removes the Kanban card from the box. The Kanban are collected regularly and put in a Kanban post at each process. Collected Kanban cards are processed into a computer system. It then sends out replenishment requests to the parts manufacturers in the quantities needed and when it's needed. At the parts plants, Kanban are printed out for each truck shipment. The parts plant shipping personnel collect the parts boxes corresponding with the Kanban card. The parts plant produces the corresponding parts, as indicated on the Kanban. When the shipping personnel have gathered a full truckload of parts, a truck carries the parts to the vehicle assembly plant. The Kanban thus links Toyota plants with suppliers' plants, as well as linking the processes inside Toyota's plants, enabling just-in-time manufacturing.
All right, if you liked this virtual tour, just type awesome in the chat box. Interesting, useful, valuable, fantastic, awesome, whatever that you felt, just type it in the chat box. Now, I will share with you this presentation. I'll share with you the training material. But before we end the session, are you ready for Q&A? Type ready in the chat box. Just a few questions before we leave. Okay. Today is just in time. All right. Isn't about delivering. Today, just-in-time thinking isn't only about delivering things right on time. Instead, it's a broader idea in lean manufacturing that helps company get rid of unnecessary stuff of these products. That is very important. Okay. Question answer on just-in-time. Question: what is the primary goal of just-in-time? Okay. Whoever gives the correct answers will get chocolates. Okay, but eat chocolates. Primary goal of just-in-time manufacturing is maximum inventory levels, minimizing lead times, increasing batch production, prioritization existing production. So the right answer is, okay, the right answer is minimizing lead times. Okay. Wonderful. The second question. Which of the following is the key principle in just-in-time manufacturing? Okay. Producing large batches to minimize setup time, maintaining high levels of inventory as buffer, emphasizing flexibility and quick response to changes, relying on long-term forecasting for demand planning. Simple, right? What's the right answer? All right, let's see. Okay, the correct answer is emphasizing flexibility, and quick response to changes. Okay, right. Question. Which one of the primary benefits of just in time for companies? Which is one of the primary benefits? Okay. Increase storage cost, higher levels of excess inventory, reduce waste and lower cost, longer lead times of production. This is no brainer, right? Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. This. Okay. The last question is, oh, last two questions. Okay. Which of the following is a potential risk or challenge associated with just in time? Higher levels of inventory obsolescence, increased reliance on long-term supplier contracts, difficulty in maintaining consistent production flow, and lower flexibility in responding to market changes. Now think carefully and write, okay? What is the right answer? See, a lot of answers are coming. This is a very tricky one, right? All right. So you should send chocolates to people who wrote C, difficulty in maintaining consistent production flow. That is one of the challenges. Okay. All right. The last question of today, after which I'll share the presentation content. Just-in-time manufacturing. What is the role of Kanban? You've seen some Kanban cards, right? To schedule production based on forecasted demands. To regulate the flow of material through production process. To maximize inventory storage capacity, to prioritize large batch production over small batches. All right, let's see what is the correct answer. Fantastic. To regulate the flow of material through the production process. Okay. See, this is a very tricky because it's not scheduled based on forecasted demand. Okay, it's very important.